Hey guys, it's Drea. Today I have a Bought It Forgot It update for you. If you're new here, let me just explain what this is. Basically, every 6 weeks I will get a box together, this box, and put a whole bunch of makeup in it of stuff that I have kind of put to the back or ignored for a while or forgotten about basically. And then I'll put it to the test for about 4 to 6 weeks and bring you an update. Did it work? Was it great? It's a bunch of mini reviews basically. And then I'll show you what I'll be using in the next 6 weeks at the end of the video. I tried to put as much of this on my face as I could today so I can show you how it kind of looks. Let's start out with this. This is a brush that I've been using for a while. This is the Tarte Air Brush. Normally it comes with a bamboo handle, but this was part of a holiday collection. The top of the brush is the same though as the regular one that you can buy by itself. And of course I'll link everything down below in the description bar if you're interested. So this is an absolutely gigantic foundation brush. Like you could see how big it is. I like this brush, but there's pros and cons to it. So first of all, it gives a really nice finish. I don't get any streakiness with it. It buffs everything in so nicely and it's so fast because it's gigantic, right? So the benefit of it being so big is that it works so quickly and I really like that. But the downside is it's very difficult to be careful with it. So for example, today I did all my eye makeup first and then I put on my foundation. And while I'm kind of, you know, doing my forehead, I totally accidentally got a whole bunch like right over this part of my eye. So it's really hard to be careful with it. And also same goes for kind of the hairline area. It's really difficult not to get foundation in your hairline with a brush this big. All right, let's talk about foundation since we're talking about foundation brush. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I have two shades. I have 02 and 03. I did not use 03 at all. I only used 02 and I had to use these lightening whitening drops, shade adjusting drops from the Body Shop, which I'll get into in a second. I had to use those every single time I used it because this shade is just too dark. They do have a 00 and a 01. This line of foundation, as far as I understand, was formulated with kind of mid-tone and darker skin tones in mind. So I'm not going to go into this saying they need more, you know, colors in this range. It's unfair, etc. It's, you know, this line was not created for my skin tone and lighter for the most part. I don't like this as much as I thought I would. I saw a lot of reviews from people with oily skin that they really liked it. To me, it has not worked well as an oily skin foundation, and that could possibly be because I've had to mix these in every time. Like I don't know how this works by itself because I've had to lighten it every single time. So you can kind of take this review maybe with a little bit of a grain of salt. If this is a product that you love, keep loving it. It's just that for me, I always found that it broke apart really quickly on my skin and that I would get really oily fast, you know? So it wasn't the best in that sense, but it does have really nice coverage. I'll definitely give it that. Like, I really like the way it looks when I first apply it. It looks absolutely beautiful. Like I'm wearing it today. You can see it looks pretty much flawless, but again, it breaks down so quickly on my skin. It's just that for me, I think this is gonna be the kind of thing where I put back in my foundation drawer and never really look at it again until I end up decluttering it somewhere down the road. So I'm thinking possibly maybe I should just declutter it now and pass it on to somebody else in my life. Let's just quickly talk about these shade adjusting drops from the Body Shop. I don't have a ton of experience with any kind of lightening mixers. I know there are different ones from different brands. This is the only one I own, the only one I've ever tried, because for the most part I can find my shade in most foundations. But I did buy this with this foundation in mind. That's really the only reason I bought this. And I do like it. I think it works really well. Again, it's hard for me to tell if this is what's making me oily though, but in terms of changing the shade of the foundation and blending in, it's perfect. Like it blends perfectly. There's no weird whiteness anywhere. There's no flashback from it. I just really like the way it works. Let's move on to something that is like a full-on, yes, I love this, and there's no question about it. So the Laura Mercier loose setting powder, this is the one that's the translucent loose setting powder. I know there's two different types. This is the one that everybody loves, and I didn't know if I would like it or not, and I'm happy to say I do really like this. I think this is an excellent powder for oily skin. It's an excellent powder for baking. I used it today. I've used it many times for baking my under eye. It's really great. The only thing is I just don't know that the price tag is worth it when you look at something like the RCMA No Color Powder, which works exactly as well as this and is so much cheaper. So that's the only thing. I think this is an awesome product. It's super smooth on the under eye. Like, it really leaves a nice finish behind. But just in terms of the price tag, that is the only thing. This is a travel size. You can buy it in a travel size to begin with if you're unsure if you want to make the investment. This blush from Almay, this is the Almay Smart Shade Blush in Coral, number 30 Coral. I think there's only 3 shades in this lineup. So this is the blush I'm wearing today, and I'm happy to say that when I first put this in this project, I didn't know if I was gonna like it because it is a little bit of a lighter shade, but the more I've used it, the more I've really loved the flush that it gives me. So it's a little bit of a pinky peach, kind of just natural flush to the cheeks, and I really, really like it. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. You could see, like, depending where you put your brush in here, you know, you might get something different, but I just swirled my brush in the whole thing the whole time. In terms of the pigmentation, it starts out fairly light, and you really do need to build it up. So when I wear it, I have to go in with my brush probably about 3 times to build it up to this level. If you're more fair than I am, I think this would probably be an excellent option because it's gonna show up a lot better and you'll still have that really pretty flush. But if you're any darker than me, I would say just kind of pass, because it takes so much building up just to get to this point where it's still a fairly light amount of blush. I've got 2 different Physicians Formula products. I'm gonna talk about them together because even though this is a highlighting palette, I did use it as eyeshadow. So this one is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips Bronze Nude. These are all glittery eyeshadows. They're very pretty. I'm wearing a couple of them today. I'm wearing this gold kind of all over the inner part of my lid. I'm wearing this darkest shade to kind of darken up the outer corner. I like these. I don't love them. I feel like there's a lot of glitter fallout from them. Like, they are very glittery shadows. Every single one is a glitter. There's no mattes in here at all. There's definitely a lot of fallout with it, and you have to do your eyeshadow first if you're using this. The second thing is, I feel like the more I blend with this, the more the pigmentation goes away. So it blends away instead of just blending in nicely. So this color here, this darkest shade that I used on my outer corner, when you first put it on, it's pretty dark. Like, look how dark that is, right? But you can't really see that in my outer corner right now. So it does really, really blend away. But I still like it. I mean, this is not the kind of thing where I'm gonna say you need this in your life, because you really don't. It's not the best eyeshadows on the market, but I'm not about to get rid of them. Like, I feel like I got a really pretty look out of it. Now this here is the new Highlight and Contour Palette, the Shimmer Strobing one. They also have an actual like matte version of this, which is just for contouring. I hate the packaging on it. It's, number one, it's super bulky, but also it makes that loud cracking sound every time I open it, and I hate that. I mean, Physicians Formula in general is just bulky packaging, so you just kind of have to live with that if you want to use their products. They don't seem to want to change that formula, you know? So this here has 3 different shades. This obviously is way too dark to be a highlight on me, so I use this as an eyeshadow, and I actually put this kind of all through my crease. It's actually really nice as kind of a shade to warm up whatever you're doing, and I feel like it worked really well for that purpose. And even though it is very shimmery, it kind of, that shimmer doesn't really show up in the crease. You could use that all over your lid, and I've tried that a few times too. When I used it on my lid, I felt like it kind of went away kind of more quickly than a lot of my eyeshadows though. These are not formulated as eyeshadows. I'm just letting you know that if you're worried about having that shade, you can find another use for it. But in terms of actually highlighting the skin, this is what I use underneath my brow bone. This is what I use in my inner corner, and then I mix them together for my cheek highlight today. And I know on camera I can see it. It's really intense and it looks really pretty, but in person it's very, very powdery. And it's that kind of highlight where it kind of sits on top of the skin, and even if you spray your face with Fix Plus, it never really looks skin-like and glow-like. It looks like makeup and highlight on the top of your cheekbone. So it's definitely not my favorite. I really don't see myself using this much more in the future. There are way better highlights out there at the drugstore, so I would just ultimately pass on this. There comes a point in one's life where you have to admit that you're just not good at something. You might give it your best effort, you might try again, and you might just continue to fail. So I'm talking about pot eyeliner right now. I have here the Sigma Winged Liner E06 brush. It's a teensy tiny little, I mean, I don't even know if you can see it, but it's the smallest of the small little pointy wing liner brushes. And this is the Tony Moly, I can't remember what it's called, it's in Korean on here. It's the pot eyeliner, of course I'll link it. So I tried this a few times. I did try to use it today. It is on my actual lash line, but I didn't want to attempt wing liner with this because I'm just no good at it, you guys. And I feel like, you know, companies create different products for different, I don't know, ease of use, skill level. Like I have my Physicians Formula brush tip eyeliner, I have my Kat Von D tattoo liner. Those work so well for me. I've perfected it to where I love the way it looks when I use those. So why do I need to keep torturing myself with this? Do you know what I mean? Like if you're the kind of person who can use this and it looks fantastic, then that's your skill set. It's just not my skill set. And I think I have now realized that I'm not going to continue to attempt pot eyeliner anymore. When I use this, it glided on really nicely. It's nice and black matte. So if you're looking for a matte eyeliner, it would be a really nice option. It doesn't seem to ever transfer on me, so those are all really good things. But other than that, I can't really say anything else about it or about this brush. Last two things are the mascaras I was using. So this is the NARS Audacious mascara right here. It's got this really pointy brush, but every time I used it, I thought it did an awesome job, giving me a lot of length, a little bit of volume, but definitely a lot of length. And I will definitely keep using it. I like it. I just, again, I don't know that it's worth the price tag for a mascara. You know, NARS has so many things that I think are worth the expensive price tag, but mascara, there's so many good options at the drugstore. I'm just like not into paying that much. And then the Benefit Roller Lash. I keep going back and forth on this, whether I like it or not. This is the mascara I'm wearing today, and I'm not wearing any false lashes at all today, which is very unlike me, you know that. But I wanted you guys to see, like, you could see there is quite a bit of length. I have very short lashes. I'm not blessed with naturally long ones. I definitely need mascara. Here's what the brush on this one looks like if you've never seen it before. It's really short on the one side, and then it's rounded and longer in the middle and the other side. I feel like it always started clumping once I started adding a second coat, and one coat never really was as much length and volume as I wanted. So this is why I'm kind of back and forth on this. This is one of those mascaras that some people love, but for me, I've never totally fallen in love with it, and I can't really put my foot on why. I just feel like I don't get enough volume out of it. The length can be really good, but it's just not to where I personally want it. Okay, that's everything that I did use. Let's talk about really fast what I'm going to be using, because obviously I don't have a lot of reviews on these yet, so I'm just gonna kind of show and tell. This is the e.l.f. Small Stipple Brush. This is a brush that I purchased because I heard so many people on YouTube kind of talk about how great it was, and I've never really given it enough use to give it a full review. I've heard that it's really good for cream products, so maybe I'll try out a few of my cream products with that. I have here the Lancome Art Liner eyeliner. Now this is kind of a weird package. It's one of those kind of pots, but this is not a brush. And it's not a felt brush either. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's really weird. It's kind of like a clear foamy thing. So we'll see. I have used this kind of off and on. I don't know that I've ever really given you guys a full review on it. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Powder, the translucent one that she came out with last year. And like I said, I have used it quite a bit. I know I like it, but I kind of want to put all my thoughts together and just give you guys a review on it. This is a powder that I've had for a long time and never really used that much. This is the Fit Me powder from Maybelline. This is in the shade 310. I've got this little sample of the NARS Pore and Shine Control Primer. I got this probably about a month and a half ago. Used it once, but I definitely need to give it some more use, and I will report back on that one. I think this is a good time of year to try that out because this is like extra oily time of year. I also have this foundation. This is the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Foundation. Now, I hauled this maybe about 2 months ago and I've not used it yet. Number one reason is the shade is way too dark. And I'm hoping that you know, going into summer, this might start matching me, but this might be the kind of situation where I need to bring these in again. Hopefully I can use it by itself, because I don't want to continue testing foundations and not actually be able to test them on their own without these, because that doesn't make sense for a review. But for now, you know, I'll try these together, and I'll try this on its own at some point and let you know as well. I've got here the e.l.f. Smudge Pot eyeshadows. Now I know I like these, because I used to use them a lot, but I haven't used them in a very long time. This one is Cruise and Chic, this one is Back to Basics. Cruise and Chic is much more of a taupe, and then Back to Basics is a little bit more of a gold. So these are kind of cream shadows that can be used as bases or on their own. I know that they definitely set, but I want to kind of get to using them a bit more. I think I haven't used these in over a year, and by the way, they are still very, very creamy. I also have here a Lit Cosmetics glitter. This is in the shade Modern Love, and I have never used this, not even once. So I bought this from Beautylish. I'm hoping you can kind of see it. It's kind of like a taupey glitter. So it should work with a lot of different eye looks. I do have glitter glue from Too Faced, so I'm hoping that that will be good enough. I don't have the actual Lit Cosmetics, like their adhesive, but I'm hoping the glitter glue will be good enough to use that with. And very last thing is this from Jouer. It's the lip cream in the shade Melon. I got this in my Beautylish Lucky Bag from right after Christmas. It's a really pretty color. I have used it a few times, but I've never really worn it like a full day or even for a few hours actually, to tell you what the formula is like. If you're playing along, let us know in the comments below what you thought about the stuff you used last time and what you will be using next time. You know, you don't have to pick 10 things out of your collection. It could just be 1, 2, 3 things. It's a really, really good way to use this stuff that you have to decide if you like it. Sometimes you can get rid of things so that you're not like feeling guilt by constantly looking at it and not using it. And also make room for yourself. And sometimes you can find some really awesome stuff that you will continue to love and use that you hadn't even thought about using before. Also, this is the first video I put up since I announced that I have a huge giveaway going on, so check in the description below for those details too, because I'll just link to that in, you know, every video while the giveaway is going on, just so everybody has a chance to enter. But that is happening, so don't forget to enter that if you haven't yet. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate those of you that spend your valuable time with me. I know we are all busy people and have busy lives, so the fact that you are here with me 20 minutes at the end of the video, it warms my heart to know that you're still here and like my videos. Thank you so much for your support. That is it for today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next one.